Jersey City Mayor Steven Fulop was the featured speaker at Temple Emanu-El's leadership group in Closter, New Jersey, where the mayor introduced himself to Jewish voters in Bergen County as he potentially prepares for the 2017 governor's race. Fulop, who answered about 10 questions from the crowd, said his administration embraces Wall Street and that his tax abatement policy was drawing major financial firms to Jersey City.
You talked about the balance in Jersey City between doing good for the citizenry and also good for business. My question is the following. Can you comment on the role of Wall Street and businesses like that in the growth of Jersey City? And there's really two underlying themes. You know, I recall many years ago, a lot of the Wall Street firms moved back offices to Jersey City, right along the waterfront. It's a thriving business community. Yet at the same time, I've never been able to reconcile those kinds of things to the fact that the Democratic leadership in this country does not miss an opportunity to bash firms like the one that you worked at. And in fact, you have the unique view of having worked inside and now trying to cultivate this balance. Can you comment on that theme of balancing, and in particular the financial community with the success you're enjoying?
So Jersey City was, the business community was initially built on the back office of the financial services sector, and we've embraced it. And we continue to embrace it. JPMorgan moving those 5,000 jobs, and there'll be more moved next year, God willing, is in no smart attributed, and I think the leadership there of the entire firm would tell you that it was outreach that we made as an administration saying that we are looking for those types of jobs to come over. So we don't alienate anybody on that front, and I recognize that many of those companies have been tremendous corporate partners in Jersey City. They employ many Jersey City residents. We, for the first time, have done an internship program that they actually have outreached into some of the challenged schools to make sure that children that grow up in tough socioeconomic issues actually have exposure to issues and opportunities that they would never have seen before. So it's something that we've actually embraced and will continue to embrace it. You will never hear from us alienating that segment of the business community, because I think it's really, really unproductive.
Later on in the meeting, Fulop talked about education in Jersey City, including his history of supporting winning candidates for the Jersey City Board of Education, and said that school superintendent Dr. Marcia Lyles was making tremendous progress in the district.
One of the first things I did, starting on the city council probably 6 or 7 years ago, was getting involved in the education issue in Jersey City. And by way of background, not only from the traditional public school standpoint, but also from the charter school standpoint, where I served on the board for Learning Community Charter School, which is one of the higher achieving charter schools actually in the state of New Jersey. Now, I want to highlight Learning Community because it's important to recognize that you have in that school alone hundreds and hundreds of parents on the waiting list to get their children into the school. At the same time, Jersey City has 10 to 11 different charter schools, I believe the current number is, and you have some great performing ones and you have some very, very poor performing ones as well. So you have literally across the gamut all different types over there. What you can learn from Learning Community Charter School is that there are many parents that want to stay in Jersey City. However, they're concerned about the education options, and they literally sign up, and what we've seen time and time again is that the choice between some of them staying or leaving is based on the education system. What prompted me to get involved in this was actually talking to many parents and recognizing that they were concerned about the educational community, and what they were saying was that if they didn't get into one of the handful of schools that they felt comfortable at, then they would leave, because they would say that it doesn't make sense economically, personally, for me to be paying for a private school or a parochial school and at the same time paying taxes where my taxes can't go towards the public school. So it was an economics decision for a lot of people. What you saw is changes over the last 5 years on several fronts. Number one is we got involved with the Board of Education, and we ran school board elections 3 years in a row, 3 candidates per year, that's the maximum you can run, and we literally changed everything about that board. And as a byproduct of that, we were able to attract a new superintendent. Her name is Dr. Marcia Lyles. She was the deputy chancellor under Joel Klein in New York City. We did a national search, and she has made tremendous progress. There's still a lot of work to be done, but she has really made huge inroads. And what you're seeing is that in certain communities within the city, there is more demand than we have seats for the first time in years. that parents that would have left Jersey City are actually staying in Jersey City in many instances. And one of the biggest problems we have is making sure that we can find kindergarten, first grade, second grade opportunities for people. Actually, seats is the concern. So it's moving in the right direction overall.
I'm Michael Shurin with Hudson County View, the eye of the community.